Welcome to this special video that I am filming today. This is going to be a video of my sketchbook that I drew in over the time that I was in the mother and baby unit in Exeter. Just to give you a little bit of a brief introduction as to how this sketchbook came about. I gave birth to my daughter Sunny in October of 2025, early October, and over the 3 weeks that I was with her, I noticed I was not sleeping at all well, and I quickly descended into what I came to know as postpartum psychosis. So it's a condition which affects 1 to 2 out of 1,000 mothers and usually exhibits itself in either straight after birth or can be in the following weeks. I realised that things weren't quite right because I had a panic attack, which I've never had before. I also was very confused and I couldn't string sentences together. My mind was racing. It basically felt like my brain was on fire, or the best way I can describe it is if you have a computer and the fan isn't working properly and it's a very hot day, the hardware in your computer is going to overheat, and basically that's what I felt. My body was overheating, and I think that then was firing off all sorts of different things in my brain, and because I wasn't sleeping, it just felt like I was in a waking nightmare for the period of the episode. It took a few days for me to get the right help that I needed, and then referral to the perinatal team in Truro. And then I had to wait over a weekend before they could come and assess me. And I had a few more psychotic episodes in that time, and eventually was signposted to go to the mother and baby unit in Exeter. So it's been very intense. If anyone else is going through this kind of illness, mental health illness, you have my deepest sympathies, because it's the first time I've experienced something like that, and it is a terrifying time. It is terrifying because you know that things aren't right, but you have no way of stopping the either hallucinations or the delusions or getting a grip on the reality that is in front of you. It's almost impossible to do that. But weirdly for me, I was having one really bad day and then having a really good day. So I could remember everything that happened the day before and seem really quite cognitive and really alert. And then the next day I would descend rapidly into another episode. So in a way, for someone looking in, if you caught me on a good day, you could think, oh, there's nothing wrong. And then on a bad day, yeah, you would know there was something wrong. I went to the MBU and spent 5 weeks there. And now I've been back home for around the same time, 6 weeks. And yeah, things are a lot better, and I haven't had any psychosis. I haven't had any psychosis actually since the first few days of being admitted to the MBU. So that's really positive and really good, and I've had a lot of people now saying that, yeah, you're definitely a lot better and you're on the mend, and I hope to have a full recovery. So this is a sketchbook I kept during my time at the MBU. I didn't sketch in it until the 13th of November. I was admitted on the 5th. And the sketchbook covers the 2 months of my recovery. I've basically called it Sketching to Recovery, and it covers the MBU in Exeter, the leave that I went on in Devon, and then back in Cornwall. So there isn't like an MBU in Cornwall. The nearest one to us is in Exeter in Devon. It takes a good 3 hours to get there because of the traffic. So yeah, we have to go to Devon, and there's only 8 beds in the MBU in Exeter, and then the next one after that is in Bristol, and there's only 4 beds in Bristol. So there's hardly, I don't think there's enough of these places or beds, particularly if you think 1 to 2 out of 1,000 women, mothers, get this. I'm sure there's a lot more people who suffer this, either behind closed doors or they get treated in the community. So here we go. Here are the sketches from that time. This was done Thursday AM, 13th of November. You each have your own bedroom in the MBU, which has a shower, toilet, and then your bed, a chair, and you can have the cot in there with you. The bedrooms are overlooking a garden, so when I opened the curtains on this day, the sun was shining and it just looked really beautiful outside. And my first thing I thought was to sketch the view outside. So there were some lovely pine trees there, and then in the garden itself there was a few different bushes and flowers. Although it was kind of winter time, there was still some colour, and there were also a couple of squirrels, resident squirrels, who like to jump around in the garden. This was Friday, the 14th of November. Ruben, who was one of the boys, his mother, Gabby, was in the MBU, and he was 11 months, and he was just such a character, so I drew him at one of the evening meals. Everyone eats together, or the meal times are all set, and you can come into a communal space and eat together if you want to. This is on Saturday the 15th of November. I've put here lonely lunch, and that does tend to happen, especially at lunch times, although there is again a set time, but because of my food allergies, I couldn't eat all of the food that was provided. But on this day, they had cooked something I could eat, and because it was Saturday, a lot of people had either people visiting them, or I put here looking after babies. They were away on leave or lying down, so I said I have the dining room to myself. 16th of November, this was Sunday, and I put here it was a calm morning. I woke around 7 AM feeling refreshed. I think that was the first time I actually felt refreshed, having been in the MBU for quite some time. When you're first admitted, you are put under OBS every 10 minutes, which does seem quite counterintuitive to giving you the rest that you need. So I think I had actually said, please don't disturb me, but it's quite hard to switch off anyway. But this morning anyway, I definitely felt refreshed, so I must have had some better quality sleep. And I read a morning devotion. Then I drew the garden view, which had these large pebbles that you could sit on, and then it was always surrounded with children's toys. So this was the digger toy. And I put a break for lunch and sketch. And I had started looking after Sonny on my own at this point as well, all morning. That was also on the same day as well, in the evening. So Tony, my husband, came and visited. He couldn't stay in the MBU. It was quite difficult for him. But he came when he could, and he would come and rent a caravan in the area and then stay for a few days and then visit me on those days. This was him feeding Sunny. 17th of November. Again, I like to open the curtains and see what's outside the window. So this was again another sketch just of the pine trees. I've put here though foggy head and beautiful sunshine. Definitely have lots of foggy heads during my time here. Then I've also had a good review meetings which we would have every week on a Monday just to check in with how we're doing. Another sketch of baby Sunny in Daddy's arms. 18th of November, we went out for the first time. So this is the first time I left the building. Just the three of us. So that's Sunny, myself and Tony walking in the rain, which was really nice. It felt like, you could breathe once you left and could feel like like a family. And I drew her face because she moves so much, so we've ended up with I call a scary baby face. And then on the 19th we did another walk with her in the sling and then also in the pram. And these were more sketches I drew of her, trying to get her chubby cheeks. One of my favourite things to do was to dress her, and particularly with all the lovely clothes that I'd been gifted or she had been gifted. So I decided to catalogue her outfits. Sunflower dungarees, they were really nice for her to wear. Clementine suit, this is I think a favourite for the nurses because they always recognised her in it. And then I really liked her little knitted hat. She looked quite cool in that. I've also put her name here. Her full name is Sunny Pearl Autumn Tersa Cariad Haraif. And for short, Sunny Patch. Her name is quite special and each part of it tells a story of her. So Pearl, because a pearl takes a long time to be made and she took a long time. Autumn, because she was born in the autumn. Tersa, which is a place of beauty in the Bible, but also one of the artists I discovered the year she was born. Cariad is love and Haraith is longed for. And obviously Sunny, she brings us sunshine. But also it was Sunny when we came up with her name. I also felt Sunny is quite a simple name, and I think every time I say it I kind of smile, and I think other people do as well. It's quite a nice name. I think it sets her up quite well for people to enjoy her company. 20th of November was when Wendy came and visited with Tony, and we went in the family room. So I thought I'd do a quick sketch of Wendy and Sunny. And then this is Sunny's crib at the MBU. It was a handmade blanket. Again, we had lots of blankets given to us. We had lots of patchwork quilts as well. So it was nice to have these things with us whilst I was at the MBU. 21st of November, the group of us went out for a walk with the nurses. So each Friday there was an option to go out for a group walk. And yeah, it was just really nice to go to somewhere else. And we went to Heathertree Park in Exeter, and there was a lovely cafe there. And I wanted to just draw the view of the park. 22nd of November, I put baby Sunny asleep in a cot. And actually this was the first time I'd got her to sleep in the cot, which seems quite strange, but she always would sleep on me. She would sleep on me, but every time I put her in the cot, she would just not want to go down in the cot at all. So it felt quite an accomplishment to actually get her down sleeping in the cot with me putting her down and not the nurses who had been taking charge of her. And I've put here, baby sleeps, mummy draws. So this again was an example of her sleeping on me, and then I just moved her just onto a pillow in front of me, and then I was just able to sketch her while she was sleeping. 23rd of November. This is the first time that I went out on my own with Sunny, and we walked to the Heavy Tree Cafe again. I ordered a drink and sketched. This felt quite an accomplishment for me, being able to go out on my own with her and go to a cafe and order a drink and sketch. It was quite a milestone, really. And then this was on the 24th, at dinner time. One of the other mums, Hannah, who came in around the similar time to me. She has twins, Orla and Arthur, and we got on really well. And actually Orla and Arthur shared the snug with Sunny for all of her time at the MBU. The snug is where Sunny was sleeping in the night in order to give me sleep. She was taken care of in the night, and also because I was on medication. That was another reason as well for her to be taken care of up there. But it meant that she had some crib buddies, Orla and Arthur. So I quickly did this sketch at dinner time of Hannah with Orla. 25th of November, I remember looking out and seeing a red admiral, a little butterfly, and I thought, I'd really like to sketch the garden again. So I did that whilst I was waiting, and the sun was out, and yeah, it was a good time. So this was done on the same day. This was actually a visit to Starcross. This is when I was allowed to go out for a day, and Tony was keen for me to see the view and sketch. So yeah, he drove me straight to this place called Starcross just as the sun was going down, and I was sketched the view quickly. It was so strange though to do this because it'd been quite a long time since I'd sketched the landscape. And then this was the day after. We were staying in the caravan, and this was baby Sunny in her cherry jester outfit. I like to call it a jester outfit because it has these really big collars, and it just made me think of a jester. So we're back at the MBU. I went on a walk again on my own with Sunny, just up to the hospital, around the hospital grounds. These were just a bit up further up the hill. I remember it was a bit rainy that day, and I had to sketch obviously quite quickly because Sunny didn't like me stopping. Here is Jasmine Lodge on the 29th of November. This was a quiet morning and just needed time outside and just sketch the view that was in front of me. Jasmine Lodge is the name of the MBU. And then this was Sunday the 30th. I wanted to just capture my bedroom, the living space that I spent a lot of time in. Sunny was actually in her pram, just sleeping, and I was able to sketch the space. I had a few comments actually from the other mothers in the MBU saying that this picture makes it look a bit more inviting than how the rooms usually look. But it was nice to just be able to capture this, and it was nice for me as well because Sunny was asleep in the pram next to me, and kind of gave me a glimpse of what it could be like to have her back at home, but me still be able to sketch and draw in her resting times. This is a picture of Cassian, who is son of Eden, another mother in the MBU, and he was just a couple of days younger than Sunny. And Eden also had postpartum psychosis, so it was actually really nice to talk about it a bit more with someone who's been through the exact same thing as you. It was actually that day, I think, that we were saying goodbye to her as well. Definitely bittersweet, because you form relationships with people and it's nice to be able to talk about things that you're going through with them. But obviously you don't want to stay in the MBU. The whole aim of the MBU is to get you better and send you on your way. So yeah, it's always sad. It was sad when saying goodbye to her, but I hope that she is getting better. This is the bedroom hallway where all of the action was taking place with babies crying in this hallway, mothers going up and down with prams, little 1-year-olds scooting their way up the hallway, support workers sitting outside people's rooms, observations. So yeah, all of the action took place along this corridor. It was also a corridor that was quite high, so it meant that any sound was amplified in a way. So I remember the first few nights being there and trying to adjust to the amount of noise that I could hear outside my bedroom, because the sound was amplified. And at the top here was the nurse's station. So you had someone normally sitting up here looking down the corridor, and then this way was the communal area, the kitchen, the lounge, and then the baby rooms as well, like the snug and the creche room, or the bar as it was called. Here is a sketch of Sunny sleeping in her bouncer. It was quite a fun one to do, and include her cat socks. This one was during creche time. Creche time was offered most days in the week from 11 till 12, and then I think 1 till 2 or 2 till 3. But it just meant that you could leave your baby with one of the nursery nurses who was in charge on that day, and they could look after them whilst you maybe went and did something, laundry maybe, or tidying your room, or just relaxing. I drew Amy and baby Bo, and I also put a note here that I drew Gloria, and I gave her the picture. So I'll include that here. There were always some nursery nurses on duty during the day and night just to give support to the baby. They helped with baby care, rocking baby, just there to help alongside other team members. Like we had an OT, occupational therapist. We also had a psychologist who was there, and you would have meetings with her once a week. Then you have support workers and peer workers. Peer workers, they're people who have been through the same experience as you and are there to help support you. There was also facilities, like people who cleaned your room, people who help serve, cook dinner, clean. There were a lot of different people part of the MBU team who made it all happen. So this was when I went on 3 days leave with Tony and Wendy, his sister. Tony had booked a caravan and we stayed there for 3 days. And we went to Dawlish, which is just down the road from Exeter. And I did a quick sketch there in the afternoon. What really appealed to me was the red landscape that was there. And yeah, I really wanted to sketch that. Tony had Sunny then in the sling and was able to walk around with her. This was another quick sketch on that day, 4th of December, Red Rock again at Dawlish. Just wanted to capture the shape of the rock using Neocolor. And then this was another one on that day. The light was so beautiful and made the rock all silhouetted, and it was just really impressive to see all of that coastline. So I knew we weren't going to be there for long, so we just did a couple of sketches. Again, using Neocolor, used my water brush a lot to get some marks, brush marks. Then this was on the 6th of December, back at the MBU. I went out with Sunny just up around the corner and found a church, and I decided just to sit on a bench and draw it very quickly though again. I also put a note here that I drew Orla and Arthur, which were Hannah's twins. Here's the sketch that I did for her of Orla and Arthur. This was Sunday the 7th of December. I was trying to get Sunny off to sleep in the pram rather than on me, and it took quite a long time, but I went into the laundry room, which has bright lights and it's very loud. It's got an extractor fan, and as soon as I went in there she just went to sleep. So it made me think, she needs to have some white noise. So I went back to my room and put her in the bathroom, which has also bright lights and an extractor fan. And so she slept in there in the pram. And I just did a sketch of that. This is the 8th of December when Tony was visiting, and he likes to give Sunny lots of cuddles and also help feed her as well. Dinner time, Ruben, who was one of the little babies, or 1-year-old, he was celebrating his first birthday there, and he had 2 pals with him, Jackson and Martha. All of them are children of the mothers who are in the MBU, but they're all kind of a similar age. So Jackson was turning 1, Ruben was 1 that day, and then Martha maybe a month or so younger. But it was just so sweet seeing them all lined up, ready for the birthday cake. Most of the cake, though, ended up on the floor, and they just ended up just crawling around under their chairs trying to eat the cake. But I tried to capture it live rather than from a photo, which was quite hard because they move so much. But it's a nice memory. I've put a note here that I drew Eden a picture of a cat. Yeah, that's another picture I did for Eden. I'll put it in here, a photo that I did. And then this is Lyndon, who's son of Katie, another mother. He had such expressive eyes, which I didn't get in this one, but his eyes were so expressive. And then this was the last day at the MBU. It was a sunny day. Sunshine was coming through the trees. It was actually quite stressful as well this day, because there was so much to pack away and get ready, all in quite a short period of time, whilst also caring for Sunny. So I just made some time to go to the garden though, even though it was very stressful, and just sat in the garden. Sunny was asleep, and I just drew the trees, which I had originally been inspired by. I also recorded this on a podcast for my Substack. I've just put sad to say goodbye to the mums, and will miss Hannah, Orla and Arthur and Lawrence. definitely ready to return back to Cornwall. So that's the end of my time at the MBU. The next lot of sketches are now sketches that I did in Cornwall, and these were sketched each day that I was back, and have really helped again with my recovery and getting back outside to do things that I love to do, and have been really good for me, actually a positive thing for me to look forward to in my day is going out and sketching. And Tony has been driving me and Sunny to a different location on the Lizard, and whilst I've been sketching, Tony was taking care of Sunny in the sling, just walking her. And it's been really, really encouraging for me to do this. So I thought I'd share those to the end of the book. I just went back to a monochrome colour palette. This is Gunwallow, and I really like the simplicity of just using one colour. Definitely helps if you are getting back into sketching on location. And this was the 13th of December at Cullion Cove. Again, another beautiful place that I've sketched lots. And then I just did a very quick sketch coming back across the river. There's a swollen river, and just did a very quick sketch walking back from Carlion. Oh yeah, this was back at the house, 21st of December. I was trying to capture Sunny feeding from the bottle live, which was quite hard because she moves quite a lot, but I quite like this one here. She looks really cute. I had a break over Christmas and didn't really sketch, but then on the 27th of December we went back out, went to Cadgwith, and I did a really quick sketch looking out over the view with the sea and this tanker that was coming across. The next day we went to Coverack. It was very windy, cold day, which you can tell with my marks. I was very quick with making these marks, and I really enjoyed doing that sketch. The colours were really inspiring as well. This kind of orangey brown colour, and then the grey of the rocks. Lambedge Hall is here and was being actually refurbished, so they're going to have a fantastic view across the bay. Here is Mullion Cove, back to just a really simple line sketch. That was on the 30th of December. Again, I think it was quite cold that day, and I just did a very quick scribbly sketch. This is the next day, 31st of December. We went to St Kevin and parked in Roskilly's, and then walked up across the field to this view. I really love seeing this view, so I tried to sketch it. Probably will want to spend more time trying to sketch it this year. And then we walked on to another viewpoint, and I sketched this one. It was a beautiful day, sun shining again, things looking quite calm. 2nd of January we went to Kynance Cove, and I'd forgotten how inspiring that cove is on the Lizard here. It has like a cafe down there, and then it has some cottages which are abandoned. One of them, though, you can hire out, which I thought would be pretty cool. And it's just, they're nestled in the cliffs. The cliffs are quite jagged, and there's like goats that roam around there. And then you look out to the sea, and there's an island called Asparagus Island. And then, of course, you've got the serpentine. A lot of this is serpentine. So I've put here sea salt and serpentine. which is the name of my Substack. You'll find that I kept returning to Kynance as well over the next few sketches. This is of Asparagus Island on the 5th of January. So you can see that it's quite dramatic. The light was dramatic. It was like that light that you get before a storm. And we could see like the weather was coming in. We got a little bit wet. This was on the 6th of January. We went to the Lizard Village and down the coast path near Housel Bay. And then went back to Kynance on the 7th of January. The tide was out at this point, so we could explore around the beach and look at these amazing rock stacks, which are serpentine rock stacks. Try to capture them. You can see there's lots of texture here because the mist, there was a sea mist coming in. After this one I did this sketch and you can see the mist was coming right in, making everything, you know, that muted colour. On the 9th of January I went down to Pelurian and sketched this view. I've sketched this view a couple of times of the bridge. To be honest, I wasn't so happy with this one when I sketched it, but actually looking at it, I quite like it. So lots of different textures. I used mainly Neocolors and pencils. It was quite a windy day. I remember actually sitting, feeling quite uncomfortable. I think that's just where I was sitting. And then this was the same day, just going up the coastal path and capturing the storm that was coming in. The 10th of January went down to Church Cove on the Lizard and it was a lot calmer. There was such a difference in the weather from this day to this day. It felt quite luxurious to sketch with no wind. I did this sketch quite quickly. And then we were back to Kynance on the 12th of January. I wanted to sketch some of the cottages a bit more and the tamarisk. And then this is the cliff behind. Quite a painterly sketch. I used the tin of art graph to do my painting and then added the colour over the top. This was again that day, using the art graph, the graphite, water-soluble graphite, and then a little bit of Neocolor, some Derwent block here over the top. It was a blustery day, it was very blustery. And then here's the final sketch, back out at Kynance again, 13th of January. And I sketched the abandoned cottages from a different viewpoint, looking down into the valley with the Asparagus Island here and the sea here. And this one again I approached quite differently again. I used my forest Derwent Drawing pencil to make a lot of the lines and marks, and then just added Neocolors and pencils, added a bit of brushwork over the top just to get a bit of energy into the piece. And actually that was, probably my favourite one from the Kynance series. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to going back to Kynance. It is quite an inspiring spot and I really want to draw more of it. But yeah, that is the sketchbook of my time at the MBU and drawing Devon and Cornwall. So thank you guys for watching. If you watched the end, thanks so much. And I hope it's inspiring you if you're feeling ill or in a difficult place, headspace. I always find that when I start sketching, it really helps me to switch off and connect again with what I'm seeing around me. And I definitely found having this sketchbook very beneficial, particularly when I was in the MBU, because you can so easily just lose yourself. No one really knows you. No one knows what you do or what inspires you. So actually it was really good for me to take my sketchbook and sketch, and also to share them with others who were there. One of the mothers there was really always got really excited when I showed her one of my sketches, and also Eden as well, who said that she really wanted to take up sketching again. So yeah, it was really nice actually to be able to share them, and helpful for me as well to feel like I had some kind of purpose in the MBU other than caring for Sunny, which was important. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll speak to you again soon.